We are back with another live. Look, just want to address something real quick. Sorry that I don't have the setup ready. I did say I was gonna have a setup this time last week. I said that. But things take longer than anticipated, and when you're starting something, it doesn't always go the way you plan. So, um, I do have a lot of good ideas that I want to share with you guys on where I'm planning on taking this live stream and this YouTube channel. We can talk about that later. But we'll start with chapter 3 of Proverbs. We're studying in that. Um, I do have a little bit of notes. I didn't even take notes on the whole chapter. I know, lousy. But anyways, do have some good ones, and we'll see what comes of it. If you guys have anything, just put it down in the comments in the chat. Let me know what you think about this chapter. Okay. All right, let's start. Verse 1. My son, do not forget my teaching, but keep my commands in your heart, for they will prolong your life many years and bring you peace and prosperity. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man. And I want to kind of dig into those first 4 verses because I got a lot out of those first 4 verses. All right, so here's the notes. Keep my commands in your heart. Literally mean so. Some notes I have on the first verse of chapter 3. He says, "Keep my commands in your heart." This literally means to guard and keep my commands. Okay, so he's literally saying not just keep them, but guard them, protect them, fight for them. And I'm kind of saying, man, that means we must fight daily to keep these commands. Um, what he says in the Bible and just general wisdom things. We must fight daily to guard those things, to keep negative stuff from infiltrating our minds and doing the wrong things. Also, it's saying maybe we got to die to self daily because flesh is what we're ultimately fighting. I wouldn't say that many people want to do wrong or anything like that. So die to self daily. Verse 2 is the notes I got from it. I'll just read verse 2 one more time. Verse 2 of chapter 3 says, "For they will prolong your life many years and bring you peace and prosperity." All right. Here's the notes I got on that. So in the King James Version, instead of it saying years, yeah, it says days. And days literally means to be hot or the warm hours of the day, which I thought that was really cool. And then long, which I can do better at taking notes and stuff, you guys. I apologize. It'll prolong your life many years and bring you peace and prosperity. And long in the King James Version means to duplicate or to transmute, which I think there's a lot of stuff going on there. Hey Amber, how you doing? Um, okay, so let's just dive into that a little bit. So verse 2, chapter 3. And this is why you got to dig in and study the Bible when you're reading it, because what you're getting just from the surface layer can change your life and can impact you. But when you really dig into it, there's a lot more meat to chew on. So, verse 2 is literally simply just saying, "For they will prolong your life many years and bring you peace and prosperity." And what those words in the King James version, if you go to the app called eSword, you can there's a King James Plus version or KJV Plus is what it is. And then beside words, you can look at what it was saying in the original text and what those words mean. From that, in the King James version, it says days and long in that verse, and that means to be hot, warm hours. That's what days mean. Long means duplicate or to transmute. So literally what it's saying here is the amount of time you're in the warm hours of the day will lengthen your ability to duplicate or transmute life. Transmute just means change, y'all. So literally what God's saying here, or what Solomon is saying here in the scripture, is the amount of time you're in the hot hours of the day. Now, what happens in the hot hours? I even put that down. What happens in the hot hours of the day? Well, the hot hours of the day are usually around noon, usually around, hey, what's up, L3? So in the hot hours of the day is when the sun is highest in the sky. It's 12 o'clock. What usually happens in that time? Something I have wrote down here is the sun is highest in the sky. Yeah, I just said that. Things are illuminated. Things are illuminated. Okay. So um the dark places, and this is can be looked at as a an illusion, or not an illusion, what's the word I'm looking for, an analogy of our life. So the I'm saying, if days means to be hot, the warm hours of the day, all right, it's illuminating. It's when the sun is highest in the sky, you have the most light, you can see the most things. Things are being illuminated in your life, on the inside of you, that otherwise you wouldn't be able to see. Otherwise, light wouldn't be able to affect it and touch it. So that's pretty cool. That's it's kind of meaning, hey, if you keep my commands in your heart, if you guard those, if you guard these commands that I'm giving to you, if you keep them in your heart, keep them in the place that um you're because your heart is where your treasure is, or your treasure is where your heart is, however the verse is. So if you keep those and you guard those, God's going to be able to shed light on matters that you might need to focus on, and light, or His love, His presence is going to be able to infiltrate those areas that otherwise He wouldn't be able to, because you're being so diligent on keeping His commands, guarding His commands is even what it says. Also, another word that stood out to me was long in the King James version. What's going on here? What are you talking about? This is not to be mean. Hey, no problem. We're actually talking about the Bible here. I'm doing a Bible study on Proverbs chapter 3. And look, I'm not preaching at you, just studying the Bible. So if you have something to add, it is more than welcome, whether you're a Christian or not. Does not matter to me. Um, all right, so let's get back on track. So long in that verse means to duplicate or to transmute, which really stood out to me. So duplicate means to what? We are creating another. We're taking myself and creating. Oh, dude, I don't know how my phone didn't just break. Look at that. Nothing like it. There's nothing like it, y'all. All right, let's see if we can get her to stand there. Stay. You stay there. All right. Um, but to duplicate means you're creating another version of it, which God says in Genesis, we are created in His image and likeness. What is God? He's a creator. So we can duplicate things. We can duplicate, and we will duplicate, because that is in our nature. Whether you're wanting to create something or not, you are creating something. You are duplicating something, whether it's in your life. You're going to duplicate into your children if you have them. You're going to duplicate into your friends. We can't help but to do that. It is in our nature. All right. And it also says to transmute, which is another meaning of that word in the King James Version. Long means to duplicate or transmute. What is transmute? Transmute is to change. Transmute is to take something in and another thing comes out. That's what transmute means. Okay, so let's put that word, that definition, into the context of what the Bible's saying here. Verse 2, for they will prolong your life many years and bring you peace and prosperity. What will prolong your life? When you keep excuse me, do not forget my teaching, but keep my commands in your heart. So when you do that, that will prolong your life many years and bring you peace and prosperity. Prolong your life. Prolong your life is meaning to, um, well, let's go back to my notes here. It says to be hot, warm hours of the day. We done talked about that. And then long means to duplicate or transmute. So I can, if I keep God's commands, if I guard them with my heart, if I hold on to it and I really work at it, um, then I'm gonna be able to duplicate more of the same in my life, duplicate better in my life. And also, not just that, but I can take in whatever I take in. If I take in negativity, I also have the power to then transmute that, change that, and spit another thing out. So it doesn't matter what's coming into your life when you keep God's commands. The things that you are able to do are much bigger than what you may think you're able to do. You're able to freaking change the world, dude. All right. Verse 3, let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. And I have some notes on that verse. All right. So, um, love here in this verse also means is mercy in King James Version, and that means kindness. Faithfulness in this verse is truth in the King James Version, and that means to build up or support. Okay, write this stuff down, y'all. Leave here means to loosen. It says that version in the King James Version, which I like that word better. Okay, so what is that saying? Let's break it down into the original meaning. It's saying, do not let kindness and support or to build up to loosen from you. Okay, so do not let kindness and support to loosen from you. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. Look, I'm all over the place right now. I didn't even think I had enough time to do this. I've got so much going on, but one way or another, we're gonna get through this video. Okay. All right. It says verse 4. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man. Actually, I want to keep touching on verse 3. So, one thing I have in the notes here is to bury them plant on the table of your heart. Bury them in your heart. It's saying, let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart, which is literally is saying, bury them. Bury them like a plant and water that stuff. And from that, also another thing I want to talk about is like the kindness. It says, do not let kindness leave from you. Do not let support, which support is also meaning to build up. Don't let that stuff leave you. Don't let it not be in you because look, I'm running into a lot of people all the time that I'm like, I don't want anything to fucking do with you. I kind of want to punch you in the mouth. You guys feel like that? Because I do. And it's saying here, hey, don't do that. Hold on to that stuff. Keep that kindness. Don't even let it loosen. Not even just let it leave. In the King James Version, it says loosen instead of leave. Don't even loosen your grip around that stuff. That's wisdom. Verse 4, then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man. Okay. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. That's pretty self explanatory. Yeah. Verse 6, in all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Now, submit, that's a word that a lot of people get hemmed up on. I know I did. I didn't want to submit to nobody. What does submit mean? Submit means to acknowledge or to know. Um, well, excuse me. Submit in the King James Version is translated into acknowledge, and that translated into the original meaning, the word that it was originally meant to mean there in the scripture is to know. So to submit, you got to know God. How do you know somebody? You spend time with them. You build a relationship with them. You're around them, right? Is this making sense? So verse 6, in all your ways submit to him, and all your ways know him. Lost my spot. And he will make your path straight. He will make your path straight. Paths can mean cycles, which I think is freaking profound. Um, and in this context, paths is meaning a well-trodden road. Meaning, it's what's a well-trodden road? Well, if I'm walking on a well-trodden road, it's a beaten down path. I don't have to cut a bunch of briars down. It's easy. It's easy. So God's saying here, hey, in all your ways submit to him, and all your ways know God, and all your ways make an effort, build a relationship, spend time with him, and he will make your path straight. He will make your well-trodden road straight. He will make your life easy. It'll be easy. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. See if I got any notes on that. Okay, so verse 7. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. Fear here is meaning respect. It always confused me growing up. Fear the Lord. We want to be scared of God. No, that's not what it's saying. Fear is meaning respect. So do not be wise in your own eyes. Respect the Lord and shun evil. Shun evil. What do you do when you shun something? Um, you're excluding it. You're pushing yourself away from it, separating yourself away from it. All right, and that is the end of my notes. I didn't take notes on the rest of the chapter, so I'll just kind of wing it. I apologize for that, you guys. But look, we're gonna get better at this live stream stuff. If you guys want to subscribe and follow, see where we're at next time. Look, I want to do just to kind of tell you, dude. I want to do like build Lego sets. And as I'm building Lego sets, like on a live stream, have like a topic to talk about. Because look, this channel, if you guys don't know, is literally all about just being a place for the lonely or the people that want a community, and influencing positive change in y'all's life, whether through me or someone else in the community. So that's what this is about. And so that to me means like self-improvement, stuff like that. We're also gonna hang out. We might play games, we might react to videos and stuff like that as well. But that's what this channel's about. And one thing I'm thinking about doing is like building a Lego set. And as I'm building that Lego set, talking about some self-improvement topic. Yo, Coldy. I hope that's how you say it. What's up, man? Or ma'am. Shoot, I don't know. Anyways, let's get back into it. I left off on verse 8. Here's 9. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. Woo! That's where a lot of people get hemmed up right there, too, man. Look, honor God with your wealth. What does that mean? Um, to me, it is speaking about the tithe there, the 10%. Bro, I'm a man. I'm sorry. Look, your picture right now on my phone is literally, literally that big, bro. Come on, you can't be too mad about me for that. Anyways, honor the Lord with your wealth. What does that mean? And give God your 10%. Give him the 10%, skim off the top, and that blesses him. That blesses whether you're giving it. And literally what you're supposed to do is give it to a storehouse. What is a storehouse? Storehouse is like the church. Okay, the storehouse is the church. But give it to the church that's feeding you. If you don't go to church in person, I haven't done that in a long time. I'm having trouble finding a place in person. So, my dad actually has a church up in Michigan. I'm in West Virginia. I actually tied to his church because he feeds into me. He builds me up. That's my storehouse. Okay. And why are we honoring God with the first of that? Well, honestly, I don't have all the words for you there. And I haven't done my due diligence to study that. All I do know is from self-applied knowledge. I have applied this stuff, and in the 2 years that I've been doing it, I've doubled my income 3 times. Okay, let me say that again. In the 2 years that I have paid 10% tithe, I have doubled my income 3 times. Separate times I've doubled my income. That's pretty crazy to me. I don't feel like that's a coincidence. Why? Well, where your treasure is where your heart is. My treasure, and a lot of the time, is it's in the money. You know what I mean? So I would rather have 90% of my income with God's blessing than 100% without. And at the end of the day, it's an open hand policy with me. It's His money, anyways. He puts it in my hand, and I don't close it. I don't white knuckle it because I want things to come into it easily as well. Well, if I have a closed hand and I'm trying to hold on to stuff, He can't put more into it as well. Don't believe me? Believe me. Do what you want. I'm just saying this stuff has worked for me. It has worked for me. And like clockwork, 10% of the stuff that I get in goes out. And I'm even working on building my giving because I have a budget every month, making giving the highest line item in my budget, meaning the most amount of money that I'm spending is for giving. And the more and more I do that, the more and more I get blessed because he knows that I am a faithful steward of money. and resources. So also, it doesn't have to be money, you guys, that you give. It can be time. It can be encouragement. It can be maybe you're skillful at something. It can be that you can give in many different ways. So um, don't sell yourself short. Verse 10. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine, which is what I was just explaining. I've experienced this happen to me. It's funny. I didn't really realize that was the next verse. But look, don't believe it from me. Please don't believe me. This is actually literally the only time in the Bible that God or Jesus, especially in the Gospels, it's the only time Jesus literally is essentially saying, try me on this. You can, he gives advice and gives principles and gives commands how you should live your life to live pretty much a good life. That's pretty much what the Bible is. Basic instructions before leaving earth. That's pretty much what the Bible is, y'all. And the only time Jesus said something and was tempting us, he was, I can't remember how it's actually said, but he's pretty much saying in this scripture, look, do this and you will see. He's pretty much saying, hey, try this, test me, try me. And I'm telling you right now, it has worked for me. I'll move on though, because I know y'all want to white knuckle your money and you don't want to talk about it. So I'll move on. Okay. Verse 11, my son, do not despise the Lord's discipline and do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves, as a father, the son he delights in. Um, I mean, shoot, there's a lot there, and I wish I would have had time to study this. Really, I had the time. I wish I would have dedicated more time and been less ADHD about this stuff, and I'll get better about it. I promise y'all. But there's a lot of good stuff there. My son, do not despise in the Lord's discipline. And discipline from a father's perspective. I have a son. I have a 4-year old. It doesn't always feel good for me to essentially have him upset and mad at me. Um, but I know it's what's right for him. And that's what the Lord's doing for us. He's a good father. The commands and stuff that he gives us, you can follow them or not, because at the end of the day, you do have free will, but he wants what's best for you. And just because the world doesn't say it's right, or maybe if it doesn't even make sense, like the 10% money thing, because it sure as hell didn't make sense to me. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, I promise. Try them and you will see. Verse 13, because or blessed are those who find wisdom, those who gain understanding. For she is more profitable than silver and yields better returns than gold. Which reminds me of kind of what I watch a lot of self improvement stuff, and a lot of the times that's about money tied into that. A lot of these rich people, they say, look, it took me, for example, 5 years to become a millionaire. If I started over right now, I'd have my first million in 30 days or in half a year or something like that, which doesn't make sense until you think about the wisdom and the knowledge that they have. It's not about the things they have, it's about what they have. You get what I'm saying? 15. She is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her. Which is, again, kind of what I was just saying. 16. Long life is in her right hand, and her left hand are riches and honor. Which, man, oh, I wish I could have dug into that more. Um, Look, I'll have it set up to where I can either use my laptop and pull it up to where you guys can see it and we can study more that way. I will definitely prepare more. I'm sorry about that again, and I'll quit apologizing. I'll quit apologizing. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who take hold of her. She is a tree of life to those who take hold of her. Just off the surface there, that is a beautiful analogy. She is a tree of life to those that take hold of her. Meaning there's two different kind of analogies you can get from that. Like if you grab onto a tree, if you take hold of her, if you weave yourself into the nature of this tree, you're going to have life as well. Also, um if you take hold of a tree in a storm, that tree's going to hold you there. It's going to take a lot to move that tree. Those who hold her fast will be blessed. That's awesome. Verse 19. By wisdom, the Lord laid the earth's foundation. By understanding, he set the heavens in place. By his knowledge, the watery depths were divided, and the clouds drop the dew. My son, do not let wisdom and understanding out of your sight. Preserve sound judgment and discretion. They will be life for you, an ornament to grace your neck. All right. There's a lot there too. My son, do not let wisdom and understanding out of your sight. Do not let wisdom and understanding out of your sight. And it also said in another scripture, don't loosen your grip on it. Don't even, it doesn't even want you to loosen. It's not even saying, much less don't let go. Don't even loosen. And don't even let that junk out of your sight, bro. That's how adamant they are here. And that's kind of what the title of this chapter is: Wisdom bestows well being. Maybe it's not at all. And I was wrong. But um, let's keep moving on. 24. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet, which I could use some of that in my life. There's a lot of fear going on in the world all times, at all times. And especially now, is what most people say, but I don't think it's really any different than any other time. It's just we've got a lot more easy access because of things like this right here. And I'm not going to share negativity. We ain't playing into that junk. This is one place on the internet that you ain't going to get a lot of negativity. And hopefully not none, but I am human and I might mess up. So when you lie down, you not be afraid. 25. Have no fear of sudden disaster or the ruin, or excuse me, have no fear of sudden disaster or of the ruin that overtakes the wicked. For the Lord will be at your side and will keep your root from being snared. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due when it is in your power to act. Oh, that's a bar. Verse 27, Proverbs 3. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due when it is in your power to act. Have any of us done that? I have. Do not withhold good when it is in your power to act. Um, let's just glean one thing that I got from that. Why is that important? Because if God gives you something and you white knuckle it, whether it's a talent, or skill that you have, or money, whether if he gives it to you and you white knuckle that talent, I'm not going to encourage nobody. I'm going to be negative. I'm not going to go up and talk to that person because it'd be weird.